to appoint a new sheriff of Rottingham. My friend.
A black sheriff?
Why not? He worked in Blazing Saddles.
One of the things that's kept TF2 alive for so long have been the constant and steady updates released by Valve and the community over the years. I plan on going over all the major and minor updates released for the game. In this first video, I'll be going over the updates from 2008 to 2010. I'll be going over basic information like release date, the content in the update, and some general info about it. So if you wish to skip to a specific update, feel free to use the timestamps below in the pinned comment or description to skip. I will also do my best to not just word vomit and read everything directly off the wiki, but it's 2023, who reads wikis anymore? Team Fortress 2 was released on October 10th, 2007, along with Portal and Half-Life 2 Episode 2. It only took a few months before the game got its first update on April 29th, 2008. The Gold Rush update was the first major update to the game, adding unlockable weapons, a new game mode, and a lot of menu improvements like the loadout and character info screen. The map that was added was Gold Rush, and 3 new weapons were added, those being the Blutsauger, Kritzkrieg, and Ubersaw. The way you got these items, or any other items released with updates, was through milestone achievements, setting the precedent for all future updates. The medic was chosen to receive items in this update due to him being the least played, and players complained he was way too passive.
Oh, shit.
In terms of updates in hindsight, this update really didn't add a lot, but it was revolutionary at the time, of course, starting out small and working up to bigger and better things.
I'm gonna go downstairs and make sure Mom and Dad aren't suspicious.
The next major update to come out was the Pyro update. The first community maps that were added to the game were Turbine and Fastlane. The Pyro received 3 new weapons, those being the Flare Gun, Backburner, and Extinguisher. This was the first major update to introduce balance changes, the most important of those being Air Blast. In this update, the Pyro shotgun taunt, the Hadouken, was also made to be a taunt kill. Meet the Sniper was released with this update, and for the last few frames, you can see the Pyro holding a flare gun. This will be the first time Valve not only teased updates in a video, but will also be the first time they did a multi-day reveal of an update, releasing concept art for the Extinguisher 13 days before the rest of the update. Oh yeah, also Pyro received achievements. Tee. The last update of 2008 was the Heavy update. It is definitely the largest update of the year, adding new weapons, maps, and a new game mode, along with some minor balance changes. The Natasha, Sandwich, and Killing Gloves of Boxing were added along with the Arena game mode. The maps that were added are mostly arena maps, those being Lumberyard, Ravine, and they also altered a few older maps to fit with Arena, those being Well, Granary, and Badlands. 2 other maps were added in this update, Badwater and Steel. The only important balance changes was buffing the Kritzkrieg to do a 25% build rate against the original 10% build rate. Meet the Sandwich was also released with this update. The PAL taunt was made to be a taunt kill. This was the last major update in 2008. Overall, I would say this year for updates were solid, and a small trickle of stuff to entice people to pay and play. A solid 5 out of 10 year for updates. It's still a good year, just not as good as what's to come. 2009 was a big year for updates. 5 major updates were added along with establishing Scream Fortress as a yearly Halloween event.
Oh God, please do not turn me into marketable collectible.
The first update to be added was the Scout update. Along with the usual maps and weapons being added, this was the first update to add new voice lines with weapons, like the
Oh, there's my ball!
line. Speaking of balls, the Sandman, Force Nature, and Bonk were added in this update, with Watchtower, Junction, and Egypt also being added as maps. A huge patch to Fastlane was added, essentially making it half a map added in this update. The really big patch in this update was making the Spy's disguise more reliable, with him changing weapons, and also to see enemy player IDs. Fun piece of trivia. On the 5th page of the update, they released the Force Nature. There's a coupon underneath the weapon that if you mailed it to Valve, they rewarded the community members with a letter from Sexton Hale and a keychain. This letter revealed secrets to the next update, the Ambassador and Girardi, as well as introducing Sexton Hale as a character in the canon. Hey, speaking of the next update,
Good day. Thanks, mate.
I'm
Standing
sorry,
around
mate.
like
It's
a
all
bloody
right.
idiot.
It's all right.
But you know,
Everything's gone bloody too much!
Yes!
The Sniper vs. Spy update was the first 2-class update released in May. This is the largest update by far, and stretching 9 whole days of release info. At first it seems like it was just going to be the Sniper update, with the first 4 days being Sniper related items, like the Huntsman and Razorback. Psych! On the 4th day it was revealed that the Spy was also getting items. The Cloak and Dagger and Dead Ringer were revealed on this day. So a little backstory. May 15th was day 4, while May 18th was day 5. This is due to it being a weekend with a 2-day gap. During this time, Valve uploaded Meet the Spy, but due to a bug, people could watch it early on iPhones.
Yes!
So along with the showing the Spy achievements, Valve added a spoof achievement. Day 6 revealed the Ambassador, and Day 7 revealed the Sniper was back with PP and achievements, along with the first ever reveal of Saxon Hill. Nucleus, Pipeline, and Sawmill were added in this update. However, on the 9th day, Valve also released Hats and Voodoo into TF2. The Stab 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 and Fencing taunts were also added as taunt kills. Being one of the more larger updates, I plan on going into day-by-day details now instead of just listing up everything like it's a boring wiki page. The third major update in 2009 was the Classless update. This was the first update to not focus on a singular class, and since it's a smaller update, I'm just gonna kinda list everything off because I'm lazy and cool. The first update to not add weapons and instead focus on adding maps, cosmetics, and a new game mode. Op Flash, Viaduct, and Yukon were added. Nucleus and Sawmill were converted into Koth maps as well. All of these cosmetics were added too. This was the first update to utilize hidden pages. Sadly, since the websites are so old and some of the hidden pages are hard to find by yourself. The main thing that was hidden in this update was the Gentleman's of Service level.
Boo. It's Halloween time.
Being the first Halloween update, it's actually quite small, only adding the Gibbous and Paper Mask Cat, Harvest, and a handful of achievements. It's also the update that added Pumpkin Bombs, Halloween Pickups, and the Ghost Entity. This update was called the Haunted Halloween Special. The hidden pages on this update were the Last Will and Testament of Zephaniah's Man, the Family Portrait, and the Gibbous hidden page.
Let's talk more fight! If God had wanted you to live, he would not have... Oh, hello!
All right! Oh, me mother.
Last one alive, lock the door!
I'm gonna stick my thumbs in your eyes and hang on till you're...
The final and most community-involved update 2009 was the War update. From the very beginning, it was announced that the Soldier and Demo were at war, and a class kill counter was added. It was only soldiers versus Demo Man, so a scout kills towards a soldier did not count. This updated page was very different. Each day a newspaper would change with an updated kill count. On the first day, the propaganda contest was announced. The next day, crafting and the first mention of the monkey knot were announced. After that, it shows the Demo Man was behind and reveals the Islander and Charge and Targe. On day 5, the direct hit is revealed. On day 6, the Equalizer, Buff Banner, and Scottish Resistance were revealed. On day 7, it was revealed that the soldier won the war and won the gunboats, which was tested and worked great with both classes. Over the course of the week, 6,406,065 Demo Man were killed, compared to the 6,372,997 soldiers that were killed. The map Gorge and Double Cross were added. The hidden pages on this update were about Poopy Joe and the swole William Shakespeare. The final result of the update was the propaganda contest, with Jay Daxter, Amber, and John Freeman winning Reading Cats. I'd also highly recommend looking at some of the runner-ups and honorable mentions. Oh yeah, also the taunt kills were added along with weapons. 2009 was a great year for updates in TF2. Some iconic maps and weapons were added, as well as setting up how updates would work when it came to bigger and better stuff. A solid 7 out of 10. It had some sleeper updates when you look at the Scream Fortress 1 update, and the Scout update being a carryover from 2008. But overall, it was a great year.
Came here from California? Like, to Texas from California? I mean, it's freaking cold out there. Do you need anything?
Apples and grapes.
Dude, you lucked out.
2010 was the first time Valve introduced minor updates to the game. Because of this, I wouldn't consider this the biggest year we got for updates, and due to there only being 2 minor updates and 6 major updates. The first minor update in 2010 was the first community contribution update. If you're a fan of my channel, and you should be, you know I've made some videos going over this update already in my community and self-made item quality video, link below. In this update, they added 3 new weapons and 9 new hats. The Pain Train, Dalico Spar, and the Home Wrecker were released in this minor update. The first major update in 2010 was the 119th update. The only thing they added in this update were the badges and a few balance tweaks. And a few days before this update, they added the map Freight and the weapon the Criticola, so they can kind of be clumped with this update.
It's apples.
I'm a Mac home movie.
The Mac update was the next update. While not packing a huge amount of content, it did add training mode, earbuds, as well as, well, you know, made it so Mac players can play TF2 now. A few items were teased in the trailer, like the Frontier Justice and Manco supply crates, which will not come out until the following updates. So far, 2010 isn't looking too hot with these tiny little updates, but whoo-wee, it's all about to change with...
Good night, Irene.
It was released in May of 2010, with 2 new weapons and 11 new hats. The Scotsman Skull Cutter and Tribalman Shiv were added, along with these hats. Bleed was introduced as a mechanic. Okay, for real now, onto the what I was talking.
At least you ain't worthless anymore.
The Engineer update was the first huge update of 2010. It introduced a ton of stuff into the game. With Day 1, it announced the Golden Ridge competition. Day 1 revealed the Frontier Justice, and what was cool about this update was that instead of having different tabs, they just added blueprints over the existing page. Day 2 revealed the Wrangler and Upward, as well as achievements. Day 3 was the biggest by far, introducing Hightower, the Southern Hospitality, but in a hidden page, they teased the Gunslinger and Hauling Buildings. Day 4 officially revealed these items, as well as Slender Mountain. His taunt kills were also added, making Engineer the first class thus far to only have 2 taunt kills. In a hidden patch around the update, Cold Front was added, but technically wasn't part of the official update. The Robot Scout can be seen in the background of the update page, as well as a Demoman Robot Skull, revealing that a future update was already in the pipeline before this.
I gotta do it, man.
The main economy update is by far the absolute largest update added to TF2. Not only adding hats and weapons, but weapon sets, trading, the Manco store, keys, crates, unusuals, and vintage item pull. Wow, there's a lot of it to unpack here. So in this update, Valve added a functional economy to TF2. Keys were added to the game as a way to unlock crates. And crates usually had 3 or 4 items, weapons being the most common, hat and tools being a little rarer, and unusuals being unboxed at a 1% chance. These were the first series of unusual effects added. One thing this update added was item sets. Back in the day, these item sets, if you had the hats and the weapons equipped, they gave you a set bonus. The special delivery for the scout gave you 25 extra health. Tank Buster for the soldier used to give you a 20% sentry damage reduction. The gas jockey set gave Pyro an extra 10% movement speed at the cost of 10 extra bullet damage. The Crocodile set for the sniper used to make you immune to headshots and you couldn't be killed by one. And the Saharan Spice set used to make your D-click noise near impossible to hear. This was met with controversy pretty early on because some new players didn't want to spend money on a hat, and it was arguable pay to win for a few years. Due to this, the set bonuses were removed and replaced with calling card tombstones. Along with these items, the Rocket Jumper, Vru, and the Vitasol were added along with these hats. One final thing this update added was the Left 4 Dead 2 promotional items, adding the Ellis Cap and the Frying Pan. Our ears were never the same. The Wiki Cap was also added in this update to reward Wiki members for their contribution. The first official Scream Fortress was released on October 27, 2010. The previous Halloween event was called the Haunted Halloween Special, of course, but this is technically Scream Fortress 2. Man Manor and Mountain Lamb were added in this update, introducing the Horseless Headless Horseman, a handful of Halloween hats, and a small handful of achievements. The biggest thing they added in this update was the Halloween package system. Randomly throughout the map Man Manor, these big green packages would spawn, and they would spawn for everyone in the server. And whoever found it first got it.
Heavy is made of sugar plums. The final update for 2010 and the final update for this video was the Australian Christmas update on December 17th, 2010. Medieval mode and Groot Keeper added, as well as a backpack expander and new crates and keys were introduced. The remaining item sets were introduced in this update as well. The Expert Ordnance for Demo, the Hibernating Bear for Heavy, and the Medieval Medic for, well, the Medic. These item set bonuses were lackluster compared to the main economy sets. The Demo Man set was only a 10% fire damage reduction, the Heavy got a 5% crit resistance, and the Medic only got an extra health regen with his item set. Poor Angie, didn't even get an item set. These item sets were also not given calling card or tombstones. Other than that, a handful of new weapons were added that I'm too lazy to write out, so here they are. As well as these hats, map stamps were added into this update to give money directly to the community map members. Oh yeah, item test was also added in this update. So overall, 2010 was a great year for TF2 updates, not only adding long-lasting maps, but also a lot of weapons that people still love and cherish to this day. A solid 9 out of 10 year for updates.
Let's top this off. Right now, no Shin. We're going with the original. Just for that imposter that has worn the brown stripes all this time.
Holy hecky, this is a long script, so I'll keep this short. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and as usual, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Also follow me on Twitter, please! I really enjoyed making this video, and I plan on making more like this in the future, going over the other updates. And just so you know, it's gonna be much longer than this one. Bye-bye!